Well, I was a little slow on cleaning up, so I had to get the bench ready. I haven't heard back from Danny. He's cut me some foam wings for these Cobras, but as you guys know, I'm not a guy to wait around for very long. So we're going to build a built-up wing for this, and I'm going to show you how to lay it out, plot it, and build it. Now I don't know how much we'll get done tonight, but at least we'll get some of the layout done and maybe get the ribs cut. We've got quite the mess of sign painting stuff here. Okay, let's put that over there. I need the mouse. Where'd it go? It's right here. Let's change the views. Get you down on the bench. All right, I have this clear plastic. C-Temp is the is actually the material of choice, but I don't have any, so I got this. I think it's 15 thousandths clear plastic, so we'll use that to do the rib layouts. Now this set of plans doesn't have. What happened to the mouse? This set of plans doesn't have a plan for a built-up wing. It only has plans for a foam wing. But that doesn't, hey Alexander, that doesn't stop me. So, we got root and a tip pattern here. We'll go ahead and get this plastic up here. Now I gotta find a knife. We're going to trace this rib pattern out on this plastic. We're gonna have to do this a little different. When you're laying these things out, when you're trying to design in your head or whatever, think ahead, because this pattern here looks like it has like 64th sheeting on it. Hey, good evening, Rico. So now we have the outline of one, and then we'll just cut it with the scissors here. Except, if I made this a little bigger, a little thicker, it probably wouldn't hurt anything. Now the reason why C-temp is the, actually this stuff worked pretty good. It cracked, so it did work. C-temp is the material of choice. It's just reason right here, it breaks, cracks along the lines. But this particular material has a plastic binding on each side, so it's kind of hard to get cut through. We'll get it. We mold canopies out of this stuff. Not for big airplanes, for cafes and such. Now, if you're a real crafty type, you can make these patterns out of aluminum. But seems that I'm here in a shop that's the size of a bathroom. I don't have any aluminum here to do that. Nor do I have the equipment to do that, so we're going to do it the cheap old-fashioned way. That looks about right. So anybody can do it. Now you could do this with paper templates and then trace them on the balsa wood, each one of these, and then, you know, use a good hard piece of balsa and coat the edge of the balsa with CA so you don't sand it out of shape. But we're going to go ahead and use these. They should work. Hey, Herbert. Man, I can't get this thing to break loose. There we go. Just don't want to cooperate. Okay. We got one rib pattern. So now I'm going to take some sandpaper and sand the edges. This is 80 grit. Don't want to sand it out of shape, but you want to sand it so it has a real nice smooth edge. Now there's another way to do this with the root rib template only, like building an I-beam wing, but it's kind of a pain, so we're going to stack sand this for ease. So there's a tip rib. Cobra. Cafe. Tip. It didn't take too long to make. That's one. And oh, just made it good. A little extra on there. I didn't see that. Shoot. Got a break right there. Damn. Okay. I've been using this for airbrush patterns. So, it has already a cut mark in it. When I go to break this rib out of there, it'll snap right there. So We'll do it like this. Okay, snap it out of there. Let's cut it out first. Can you guys see what I'm doing okay? And is the audio okay? Because the microphone's behind me. But I'm using a $high studio mic, so it should pick up the sound decent. Audio and picture is good. That's what I want to hear. So let's peel off this backing, see if it'll come apart easier. Plastic on both sides. There we go. Frank told me he's going to build a P-40 with the lost foam wing. I don't know if you guys are following that channel, but he comes on here and he's a member of Stud Hanger. Okay, we have the half A Cobra root rib now. Now, I'm not building a watch, so, you know, I'm not concerned how absolutely accurate I am. I mean, I'm sure that'll cringe Bob Hunt, but oh, just close. Okay. Tip. Loop. Just cut a skull out of that or something. Skullduggery. Okay. So now all I need is the numbers. Figure 10 ribs per side. Well, I don't know, that's probably quite a few, so we'll go, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, 10 per side. Hey, Steve. Yeah. Skullduggery. No picture. Well, it's on your end. These guys can see, John. Okay, so audio and picture is good. I don't run the internet. So we got, looks like 15 and a half for the inboard wing divided by 10. Is that right? Divided by 8. Let's see. 15 and a half. I'll have to figure it out. Fifteen and 1/2 divided by 1, 2, 3, 8. Yeah, it's 8. 8. They're 1 and 15/16 apart on the inboard side. IB 1 and 15/16. And on the outboard side, I think it's an inch shorter. Looks like it. 14 and a half divided by 8. Clear. 14 and 1/2 divided by 8 equals 1 and 13/16 on the inboard side. Or outboard side. Outboard 1 and 13/16. Okay, so that was simple. Now, did you guys? Hey, Jim. Oh, no problem, Jim. We got snow here too. Okay, so did you guys figure out how I did that? We're gonna have one rib in the center here. I'm gonna build it just like a foam wing, 2 halves. So we're gonna glue the 2 halves together. Now I could add an extra rib here, but this airplane is so small, there's really not a need for the extra wood and all that other stuff. So I took the dimension from the center line to the outboard where the tip goes on. And if we have a rib here and a rib here, and I want 10 total, that's 2 ribs out of the 10, so 8. You divide this dimension by 8, and that gives you the 1 and 15/16. And the same thing goes for the outboard side. And that'll give you your rib spacing. So I need to cut up 20 pieces. 20 pieces of 16. That rib set, there it is. Good evening, Gary. Okay, so I need 20 pieces of 16. Let's see here. I bet I can get a whole wing out of a sheet. Less the sheeting. Let's see here. Let's figure this out, right? These things need to be nice to strip it. Need to be 1.5 inches wide. So this is 4. Too bad. So I guess we could do it this way. I was just going to strip it and then waste some wood, but we'll do it this way. We'll rough cut each rib. I only got 20 to do. It's not like I'm doing a big stunner where I got 40. 1. Try to keep the grain running in a straight line from root or from leading edge to trailing edge. That's 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's going to take 2 sheets. Or a sheet and a half anyway. Maybe 2 sheets to build the whole wing. Then we got to lay out the spars. I'm cutting them all the same size as the root tip or the root rib because I'm going to stack sand these. And yeah, I mean, I could plot it out, maybe get a little smaller and smaller and smaller, but it's just not worth the time. And part of my thing, building airplanes, is to waste no motion, waste no time. Waste a little wood, but I would say if I had a CNC plotter, if I knew how to work it, I could probably plot this out and get 20 ribs on one sheet because they would continually get smaller and smaller and smaller. But so that means the rib set would weigh 14 grams. Yeah, it's going to take 2 sheets. Yep, 2 sheets. Bummer. Three, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. So this is half the wing here. So we'll leave this, we'll do half the wing and then lay out the other half on another sheet. And this will be the center sheeting. So we're not wasting having to piece together anything. Okay. You know, if a guy wanted to, he doesn't even have to cut these out to shape. You could just cut them to this size here. If I had a belt sander, I'd bolt them together and zip them up on a belt sander. But I don't, so I'm kind of stuck doing it by hand, just like sticks and rocks, just like they did in the 20s. Everything by hand. But that's okay. What fun would it be to make it easy? Not like that. The new guys to building need to see how this stuff is. I've showed it, you know, I know I've shown it on my channel before. But learning is reminding, teaching is remembering, so everything I do here is nothing new under the sun. It's all a matter of repetition and practice, like flying a pattern. I don't even have to build every day because that's what I do at work. Only I do it with metal. And a heck of a day today. Goofball busted up a snowplow. Had to rebuild a snowplow, box in the frame. Boss comes back. When's it be ready? When it's done, and I lay the ticket on your desk. Got 6 hours in it now. Probably have 8 in it total. Everybody wants everything now. That's 2. Kind of boring watching me cut wood, I'm sure. Hope you guys learned something. Wings on this, I'll probably monopuke. Is it going to give it away? And if some new guy would put his finger through this silk span, I'm sure. This with monopuke, it's pretty durable. And it's already bagged up for when it hits the ground. You guys go back into the gallery and look at my sorcerer with the OS32F on it from, I think it was 1991. It's red, white, and blue. That's monocoat wings, painted fuselage. That's what we'll do here. It was good job. The only reason why I monocoated that is I wanted light. And in all honesty, a monocoat finish is not much lighter. I don't think any lighter than a Japanese tissue finish. Alan Brickhouse was using that method of monocoating the wing and painting the fuselage, and I figured I'd give it a try, and it turned out all right. Hard to believe how many guys are going away. Pretty soon I won't be here to hold your hand. Then what? The nice thing about YouTube, you can always go back and look at them. I need somebody to catalog my videos. I think I'm get close to 3,000 videos. So it would take somebody a substantial amount of time to go through and write a description. I just never, man, I'm not a movie maker, I'm a builder. So I didn't bother to write descriptions, and I'm not much of a typer either. And I can do it, just takes a while. Okay, we got 1/2 of the rib set roughed in. I'm going to cut the other half, the rib set. We're going to do them all together and then split them every other one. If the bolts are long enough. Doesn't look like they're going to be. So we got 10/16, 10 and a 16th. That should be what's this going to be? Yeah. Okay. Close enough. I guess we can do them 1/2 at a time. Let's see what it's going to weigh. Seven grams, so that's a 1/2 ounce for the rib set. This wing will come out about 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces. So now I need a center line on both ribs. So I need a ruler. Shit. Let me get my 6-inch scale. Good evening, Don. Good evening, Gary. Now you could measure this, and there is a way to measure to get the perfect center, but as with always, I just eyeball it. And if I got my vernier calipers out, it would be damn close. It'd be with a couple of thousands. And we ain't building a watch, so I don't want to cut through that, so just scribe it on there. We ain't building the watch, so it doesn't have to be that close. It's only a dumb half-eighth. And it'll fly right off the board. I mean, I know that for a fact. If I can get the motor to run. Yeah, it's always fiddling with the little half-eighths. 37 minutes. So, we got 37 minutes in. Let's drill the holes, I guess. My $15 Walmart drill. Eighth-inch bit. Skullduggery. Need a backer block. Use this. Won't use a good one. So we're going to line the center lines up. Actually, I'm going to line the leading edge up too. I guess I could tape them together. That'd be a good idea. This is kind of important if you want the wing to stand straight. Now, the holes aren't that important. The high point of the wing is here. We're going to try to stay ahead of that for the bolt hole because that's where the lead outs are going to come out. That's one. And get this one behind here. I mean, it doesn't much matter where I put this one, except try to keep it close to the trailing edge. Okay. Here's our rib templates. Now, we'll take these together. I don't have a drill press here, so I am my own drill press. So eyeball it in on a center line, because it doesn't much matter, because we're going to sand it. And then you want the leading edge to touch. Try to hold the drill perpendicular to the bench. Now, we'll get some screws. I gotta move everything around so I can get at anything. Something's gonna slide off and be on the floor here in a minute. Yep. Yeah. Okay, I got a couple of these. Are these long enough? God, I hope so. Pretty close. Yep. And hold that right like that. Of course. Surprised that ain't didn't break. Do this on a drill press if you got it. I just ain't got it. A little off on that one. So I need to do that. That'll work. Little adjustment. Okay, take the tape off. Remember, fellas, we're not building a watch. We're building a half A Cobra. Don't have to be perfect. Just have to be close. Oh, get excited. Looks close. If not, we'll know here in a second. Only wasted 45 minutes if it ain't. So it's going to take an hour and a half to cut ribs, 45 minutes aside. We'll just use a blind nut on this puppy. I don't want to waste. For you guys that don't know, the aircraft nuts, the ones, the nylox, they're only good one time. So if you're not, if you're going to be on and off with something, don't use a nylox. I'll just use a fly nut in reverse. Except I think this one's a bugger. It's screwed up. There it went. Okay. Nope. Try this one. The screw could be messed up too. Should have a washer on this side, but next time. I'd like to get these ribs cut before the end of the broadcast. Another blind nut. There we go. Like, subscribe, and share, and please consider becoming a paid member, like Gary Sinclair there, and anybody with a green, Don Fanning, anybody with a green name or a custom avatar is a paid subscriber. All right, here we have the inboard side. It doesn't much matter because there's 10 on each side. Ready, assembled for stack sanding. Tighten it up a little more. And because there's not much here, it won't take much to sand this. Then you just take a block, you sand down until it touches the template. And you'll have a perfect set of ribs, as good as anything, you know, it doesn't much matter. I need to get the trash can though. I don't want to clean up a big mess. So we'll sit here and sand away. You know, I'm going to cut some of this off here. I don't want to waste time sanding all that. I'm cutting the tails off just to speed up the process. Less sanding. Now I have done it on both sides where I've cut off the tails and then cut off the leading edge. Both ways will work. It depending on the taper of the wing, depends on how much taper you got. Sometimes I double stack them, so instead of having 10 ribs here, I would have 20 ribs, and then take every other rib out, and that way I've done it in one shot. So the center for the left would be the first, and the center for the right would be the second rib out of the stack. You go back and forth, so it's 3 and then 4. If that makes sense. When you double stack. And because this is plastic, you can hear it when the 80 grit touches it, it'll squeal. So when you hear that squealing on both sides, stop. Normally I use plywood, but plywood, you can sand the plywood, a flat in the plywood, and that means all your ribs have a flat. Which really doesn't, you can't tell, but I'll try to make this accurate as possible. It's a double taper wing, so you got to do it this way. Sure beats cutting them out one at a time. I don't think you could plot it and cut it out one at a time that fast. This is just how I learned how to do it when I was a kid. We didn't know any better, so it's all that seemed to work for me. Can't remember who showed me something like. Maybe it was my uncle. Okay. Remember, everything I do, there's, hey John, everything I do is not new. It's all old world stuff. You know, I tried the newfangled way, and I found that the old way works better. The old finishing methods. You guys can have your automotive finishes and your monocoat. Nothing like a hand-rubbed built finish, to me anyway. All right, we have a full set of ribs stack sanded. It took, to do that, 54 minutes. So in 1 hour, you're going to get one half done. Probably more because you're not going to be talking like I am. You'll be working. I'm going to sand them down until it touches the template on both sides. We'll clean them up with 180 here in a second. Then comes the fun part. Weeding them out. Cutting the centers, lighten them up. Okay. They call this stack sanding because here's a stack of ribs. So So I've taken a foam wing, plotted it out, and turned it into a built-up. Easy as that. Let me put this stuff back. We'll do the other side tomorrow night. So. And then Thursday night we'll put it together. I know it's only going to take 3 nights to do it. 3 hours. And I don't know, maybe a little longer, 4 hours, because I got to hollow all these. Take them apart. Now I'll show you a trick that I normally do. It knocks a little bit off the cord, but if you look here at this rib, you have an extreme angle right there. Well, that doesn't give a very good glue joint. So I just take each rib and sand that off till it looks like that. Take a couple of strokes and that's it. This would be exactly like a big stunner. Weight tip, weight box and all. Little tiny one. Shouldn't take more than a 1/4 ounce. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Still need to mark the spar and sand that. I don't know what size I'll use for that. All right. Any questions? No, they're already. There's not much taper in that as it is. You could, just like I did the trailing edges here of these ribs, but there's really not any need for it. I do suggest you knock that edge off the trailing edge of the tip, though. Now, each one of these ribs is going to have to be marked out for hollowing. At least on the inboard side. And of course, right here is where the spar is going to go. So we'll leave a rib there. So that's how it's marked. And we'll hollow them tomorrow night. I can hollow them because I won't have to go through making these tip patterns, wing root tip patterns, so I can hollow them. It's only going to take, looks like it's only going to take 2 hours to make a set of ribs, and maybe an hour to assemble it, so that's 3 hours. And an hour to finish it all up, so that's 4 hours total in a little wing. I mean, there's really not much to these. It's like building a stabilizer on a big airplane. All right, guys, we went through our hour. Let's see here. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, share. Hope you learned something. If you did, great. If you liked the videos, please consider super chat next time around. You can only do that when we're live streaming. I don't have super thanks. I don't have enough members yet. I think you got to have 5,000 members. So I don't know where I'm at. I think I'm at 3,500 or whatever. So I'm 1,500 members away. So it's going to be a while before I get super thanks. They're making a big mistake because I know this channel does better than some of them other goofy channels. All right, we'll see you tomorrow night. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya. And one last thing. Does anybody know what that is? Let's support the truckers and let's go, Brandon. See ya.